Chapter 15. 4 years later. Dr. Mo was extremely satisfied with the amount of effort Han Li had dedicated to his cultivation. However, he still felt that Han Li's rate of progress at breaking through to the next layer in the oracular chant was too slow. These past few years, the illness Dr. Mo was suffering from had been getting more serious. He would cough countless times a day, with the bouts of coughing getting more and more frequent while lasting longer and longer. As the condition of his body worsened, Dr. Mo started to pay more attention to Han Li's cultivation. From his relentless urging, one could see the anxiety in his heart. For some reason, Dr. Mo attached an enormous amount of importance to Han Li. Not only did he increase payment in terms of silver, Dr. Mo's gaze was even filled with a tender and caring emotion as if he were examining a rare treasure. Despite this, Han Li, who had reached the third layer in the oracular chant, noticed an underlying truth with his extremely acute senses. Han Li inadvertently discovered that behind Dr. Mo's warm and friendly gaze was a trace of coldness and extreme greed, which made Han Li feel extremely uncomfortable. That gaze that Dr. Mo threw at him actually caused Han Li to be frightened from the tips of his hair all the way to the marrow in his bones. He felt that Dr. Mo saw him more as an object instead of as a living being. This made Han Li felt puzzled. What could he possibly have that Dr. Mo desired? Of course, there's nothing I have that he would be interested in, Han Li assured himself after thinking deeply. There were even times when Han Li thought that he was overly tired from cultivating the nameless chant, and he would shake his head in shame. He could not help but blame himself. After all, berating Dr. Mo behind his back was an ungrateful act. However, he did know the exact reason why. In the deepest recesses of his heart, he still held a feeling of caution whenever he interacted with Dr. Mo. As time passed, this feeling of caution got stronger and stronger. Currently, Han Li was facing a huge problem. He had already reached the bottleneck of the third layer, but Dr. Mo's stock of precious herbs had already run dry. Obviously, Han Li was not a genius by any means. If it wasn't for the assistance of the medicinal herbs, his cultivation progress would have long since stagnated. Every time he met Dr. Mo, Han Li could not help but to feel a sense of shame. Dr. Mo had practically spent all of his fortunes to painstakingly aid Han Li in his cultivation, creating favorable conditions for Han Li, and yet, Han Li was unable to satisfy his request. This made Han Li extremely unwilling to meet Dr. Mo's gaze whenever there was an inquiry by Dr. Mo regarding his state of progress. Strangely enough, for who knows what reason, the highly skilled Dr. Mo was unable to know Han Li's progress without being told by Han Li. Thus, he was kept in the dark regarding the problem of Han Li's bottleneck. However, not long ago, the guilt in Han Li's heart caused him to seek out Dr. Mo and confess about the bottleneck he faced in his cultivation. After Dr. Mo heard that in the past year, there had not been the slightest progress in Han Li's cultivation, his normally expressionless face became extremely unsightly. To Han Li's surprise, Dr. Mo did not rebuke him. Instead, he told Han Li that he would be gone from the valley for a period of time to gather the necessary herbs and reminded Han Li to continue devoting his efforts into cultivating the oracular chant. 2 days later, Dr. Mo brought along a case filled with tools needed to extract herbs and left the Seven Mysteries sect. After he left, Han Li was all alone in the God Hand Valley. As for his good friend, Zhang Tai, he had already cultivated to the third layer of the Way of the Armored Elephant 2 years ago and had disappeared without a trace. Zhang Tai only left a letter of farewell, stating that he wanted to explore Jianghu. This incident caused a great disturbance in the sect. After that, there were rumors that Zhang Tai's family was spared from punishment after Dr. Mo pleaded on their behalf. Han Li felt that the entire matter was extremely bizarre, and after thinking about it, he was sure that there was more that met the eye regarding this matter. Regardless, Han Li held no position of importance in the sect, thus his words were ignored, and this matter had long since been swept under the rug. After contemplating, Han Li thought, could it be that Zhang Tai was so afraid of the backlash caused by the fourth layer of his martial skill that he ran away? Putting his thoughts of Zhang Tai aside, Han Li cultivated for a few days inside the valley but was still unable to make the slightest bit of progress. Since he was a hot-blooded male, he decided to explore the celestial Rainbow Mountains instead of staying cooped up in the God Hand Valley. As he walked along the mountain paths, the paths that he knew so well actually held a tinge of unfamiliarity. He could not help but feel slight traces of sadness in his heart. These past few years, because of his cultivation, it was as if Han Li was staying in a prison, unable to take a single step outside the valley. The disciples of the Seven Mysteries sect should have already long forgotten his existence. On the roads, Han Li met a few disciples that were under patrol duty. From their perspective, this stranger wearing the robes of an inner disciple filled them with suspicion. It was only after much explanation that Han Li managed to convince them that he was indeed a disciple of the Seven Mysteries sect. To avoid any more situations like that, Han Li decided to traverse along the small trails that were separated from the main road. As expected, he met no other disciples, and this enabled him to travel faster with no interruptions. Looking at the beautiful scenery and listening to the birds chirping, Han Li felt that, for that moment, it was as if everything that was troubling him had melted away. Suddenly, the sound of weapons clashing rang out as the air erupted with a cacophony of cursing voices emitted from the ravine of a nearby mountain. What? There are so many people gathered in such a remote location? Great curiosity arose in Han Li's heart, and no longer fearing the questions of other disciples, he followed the noises and sought out the source of the sound. What a big crowd! Han Li stared mutely in shock. The ravine, completely hidden by the forest, was a small area. Despite this, there was a total of 100 people crowding together in the ravine. There were also people standing on the branches of giant trees. Two groups of people were staring at each other, and a thick sense of enmity emanated from both groups. The group of people standing on the left side consisted of a total of 12 people while the group on the right side consisted of 7 people. Han Li discovered that these two groups were of similar age as him. All of them were about 15 to 20 years old. A slight smile hung on his lips as he thought, what a coincidence. From this group of people, Han Li could pinpoint a few familiar faces. Fang Yubao, Zhang Dalu, Ma Yun, Sun Li Song. Fatty Wang is even more obese than the last time I saw him. This person is Metalhead Lu. One he was actually so tanned back then. To think that his skin is so fair and white now, has he become someone that lives on the earnings of a woman so he can sit and be lazy the whole day? Han Li sniggered as he climbed the huge tree as he began to lose himself in his memories. The sound of clicking one's tongue.